Good evening, fellow aquarium scientists. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hope everybody is doing well this fine wintry Sunday. It's actually, I don't know if it's still snowing outside, but it was snowing earlier during the day. Not too much, but enough that they had to cancel Sunday school today, so I had the day off today and thought I'd do a little pop-up live stream just to let everybody know that I'm still here. But I hope everybody is doing well. I see Liquid Zoo is first. Thank you very much for stopping by. And Cosmin is here too. Thank you. Hope everybody's doing too well. That tank has too much salt. I don't know what tank you're talking about. It's the thumbnail. It's definitely a salty tank, that's for sure. And nothing wrong with that. But yeah, decided to do a live stream today just to let everybody know what's going on in the world of Professor FishTanks and any things that are coming up. There is another video that I am currently working on that it's more like an update video on one of my tanks. So sorry, somebody's calling me. Hang on. But it's like an update video, so pretty excited about that. But yeah, and then obviously, just like always, just taking a bit of time to hang out with the fellow aquarium scientists and answer any questions, talk about any topics anybody might have in mind. I'm always eager to discuss anything related to our very beautiful hobby. We've got the Zen Ginger here. It's good to see you too. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, so what's new that's coming up? Well, the most recent thing that is coming up is I will be at the New Jersey Reptile Show, the 2026 New Jersey Reptile Show. This is their second event. And I will be there with Atlantic Aquariums and Atlantic Jungles. And we'll be vending there. So if anybody is in the tri-state area or wants to come to a reptile or exotic pet show, it's a one-day show. It's on Sunday, February 8th from 9 to 4, I believe. Tickets are on sale now, so you can definitely go to just search, NJ Reptile Show or New Jersey Reptile Show. Or if you go to Atlantic Aquariums, the event section, there'll be more information there. But I'm pretty excited about that. It's the first non-aquarium specific show that I'm going to. And so I'm pretty eager to, to go and be a part of it. It's the first, no, I take that back. It's, I think, the second event that I have that I've vended at. The first one was a pet expo, and I think I was the only aquarium vendor there. And then this is going to be the second show in the state of New Jersey, so pretty excited about that. Most of the stuff that I'll be bringing is going to be aquarium related, but there may or may not be vivarium and paludarium stuff there too. It just depends on if I can get anything in by the time the show comes around. And it's just a one-day show, and it's not that the time isn't that much. So, but if you're able to come, we'll be happy to see you there. So that's something that's coming up. And then, like I said, I'm working on a video currently for an update on the first ever aquascape tank that I set up. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you probably know what aquarium I'm talking about. Kind of made a few videos of setting it up, and then never really bothered to do an update on it or anything like that. And so this is going to be um, an in-depth video on updates, changes that have happened over the years to the aquarium, and how I would maintain and things like that. So there's going to be a little bit of maintenance going on in the video too. So pretty excited about that. Um, hey there, Dee Dee. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you're doing all right. But yeah, so pretty excited about that. It's been a while since I posted any content on the channel, so I do apologize, but life's just been hectic. Um, and then another thing that I did want to mention, and I just have to share my screen. Give me 1 second here. Oh, hang on. They've changed a lot of things with StreamYard that is really annoying. One being that before um, I used to use my custom countdown videos and intros and outro videos and things like that, and now I can't do that unless I upgrade. And I emailed StreamYard a bit of a feedback on the fact that that is the most stupidest thing they've ever done, and that they should allow us to share our own videos without needing to upgrade. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they changed that. And there's like they've moved other things around, and frank, given that it has been a while since I've been on StreamYard, so excuse me, um, haven't quite learned everything yet, but yeah. Because before it would let you share this in terms of sharing a screen, it would let you choose the tab that you wanted to show and not just completely share your screen. And I can't figure out how to do that. But anyway, regardless, um, I have a T-shirt now. Professor FishTanks T-shirt is available on Atlantic Aquariums if you go to the miscellaneous section. Um, and excuse me. Actually, I might be able to. I wonder if I can post the link in the chat, but maybe not. But there's a T-shirt now available at Atlantic Aquariums. There's other merch and things like that on there, but this is specific to Professor Fish Tank. So if anybody's interested in adding another aquarium YouTuber shirt to your collection, feel free to do so. But that's something that's new. Trying to think of what else is new. Been working on the business side of things a lot lately, so there have been a lot of changes throughout the months last year, and then obviously for the new year. And so, just ways of making Atlantic Aquariums even better than it was before, and trying to create a strong customer base. So just been busy with that. Excuse me. But yeah, so a lot of things have been going on. Enjoying the hobby as well. Dee says, "Yep, all the push button media vids can't be used unless you upload and hold them like a guest and move fast through clicks or countdowns, etc. But if you pay approximately 50 a month, you still have that." Yeah, no, it's I don't know. It threw me off because before I could, go to If any of you are familiar with StreamYard, you can upload your own videos, whether it be a custom countdown or an outro, intro, and then you would just click on it and it plays, and then immediately goes back to you, or um, things like that. And now you can't play those videos unless you upgrade. So pretty annoying, but it is what it is. I sent them an email basically telling them that's the stupidest thing they've done, but whether that's gonna make a difference or not, yeah. Yeah, I don't stream enough to justify $50 monthly. Yeah, neither do I. Even if I did stream that much, I'm not paying. Sorry, you know. I'm already paying a lot of money out of pocket to keep my business, you know, afloat. I'm not doing that yet. But but yeah, so for now, I'm just gonna have to deal with, not having to use it unless something else pops up, a streaming service that, you know, will allow you to play it in the free plan, but it's whatever. um but yeah, so uh afloat, no pun intended. Yeah. But so yeah, so the New Jersey Reptile Show is the most recent one, and then obviously Atlantic Aquariums is signed up for the 2026 Keystone Clash, so we will be returning this year. And so, we hope to, and I believe registration has also opened for the Keystone Clash. If any of the moderators wants to post a link to that, please, really appreciate it. And if you haven't registered yet, please do so. It is an absolute. It's an absolute if you're a fish keeper to go to that show. Um, go to that show towards the end of the year. Obviously, I believe Aquashella is also coming back to New Jersey, so that's also interesting. I was dabbling in the. I was dabbling into seeing if I wanted to participate in Aquashella, but the price point for being a vendor and then also other aspects after discussing with other fellow people in the community, I decided to not be a vendor. But last year I did want to go to the show just as a visitor, just as a guest, and I wasn't able to. But this year I definitely want to visit the I definitely want to, excuse me, go to Aquashella and just experience it. And then obviously, um, there's Reefapalooza that comes during the summer break, so I wasn't able to go to Reefapalooza last year either, but I definitely want to go this year too. So it's definitely on my go-to. Both shows I'm gonna do my best to go to. So if you guys go to any of those two shows, Reefapalooza or Aquashella, I might see you there. Dee Dee, you're not going to the Clash this year? That's upsetting. I'm sorry, but that's just upsetting. It's always enjoyable when you're there, and also you're one of the very few people that buy stuff from me, especially at the Clash. So that's sad, but you know, and I hope everything's all right. And thank you, Zen, for sharing the Keystone Clash website. Really appreciate that. Um, have you seen a date for the Aquashella? I don't know. They posted a tour schedule in terms of what cities they're going to. Let me pull it up because the last time I tried visiting the Aquashella website, it was not working for some reason. But now it is working. But let's see here. They do have dates, Didi. So let's see here. Orlando is March 14th and 15th. Dallas is May 16th and 17th. New Jersey, woohoo, is September 12th and the 13th. Ooh. and Chicago is September 26th and the 27th. So they're going to four states: Orlando, Dallas, or excuse me, Florida, Texas, New Jersey, and Illinois. I actually find it funny how they mention Orlando, Dallas, and Chicago, which are places in the states. But then for New Jersey, they just have New Jersey. They don't have the Meadowlands Expo Center or wherever they are doing it, um, or like what city they're doing it in. They just have New Jersey, which I find funny. But um, but yeah, those are the dates. So if you go to the Aquashella website and you kind of scroll down a little bit, you'll see the locations and the dates that they're doing it. But yeah, the New Jersey one is close to the Clash because Keystone Clash is pretty big with the tri-state area, especially. You know, you've got Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and then but you have the Aquashella that's going to happen in New Jersey on the 12th and 13th. So they're going to be back to back pretty much. Zen saying, I'm also not going to be going back, but it's a lot further for me, but it was good to meet you there this year. Aw. And then D says, not planning to sponsor anything at this point. Okay. Yeah, a lot of changes have happened to the Clash. You know, you've got Scotty who stepped down as the chair, the head chair. So, but there you still have Jenna and everybody still there. So we'll see how things go. But I have full faith in everybody that's a part of organizing the Clash that they're gonna do a great job. And I hope that even though Scotty's not gonna be running the show, that he'll still be there if he can. If not, but you know, Scotty's worked really hard, but he deserves a break. I do agree. But yeah, so a lot's going on, especially here. But yeah, so another thing that I wanted to mention was that I was able to do a talk at a aquarium club for the first time, at my local aquarium club, the Jersey Shore Aquarium Society. Um, Jen Williams was actually supposed to be um, our speaker for that meeting, and unfortunately, um, due to a lot of air traffic control stuff that was going on, um, flight got canceled, and so she wasn't able to come. They've had to reschedule her for a different day, and so the club was trying to figure out, if somebody else could, trying to figure out another speaker, and I basically volunteered to speak if they wanted me to, and they were more than happy to do so. And so I did a talk on coral aquaculture and its benefits, the economics and all that stuff, which was very interesting considering that the club is predominantly freshwater. Um, but they were very interested in the talk, and after the talk we're coming up saying thank you and that they found it really interesting. Some were even like, I was very hesitant to get into corals, but after listening to your talk, it's made me more interested in learning and maybe trying to keep them too. And so that was very good. I was very pleased with that. And there's nothing wrong with you being a freshwater person but wanting to dabble in saltwater, because in my opinion the aquarium hobby is consists of both the freshwater side and the saltwater side. So if you're going to call yourself an aquarium club, you should cater to both, in my opinion. But that's just me. But yeah, so I was able to speak for the first time, and I was very nervous because I do tend to get stage fright. as well. It's not as severe as it used to be when I was a kid, when I was younger. Um, but still get nervous from time to time because I'm always prepared and I plan on what I'm going to talk about and how the flow of the talk and things like that. And then I get up there and sometimes I'll get nervous and I'll miss something, or I'll go a bit faster than I wanted to and kind of rush it, which I generally don't like to do. I like to take my time and and especially if I have a active audience where people are asking questions or things like that. Um, you know, Mostly after the talk, it makes me relax a little bit more. So it was a pretty cool experience, and I enjoy teaching people something that I'm passionate about, which is corals. So so that was a good experience. But yeah, so I also know that my club is planning on doing a swap meet at some point this year too. I don't know when. Um, Actually, I might know when, but they haven't posted anything in terms of signing up for the swap meet. But I know for sure that actually, I'll take that back. Not for sure. I might do the swap meet again because last year's swap meet I had a bit of a bad experience. Somebody basically stole some stuff from my table while I was packing things up, and and didn't really get much assistance with figuring all that stuff out, and so I lost quite a bit of expensive plants because of that. So um, I don't know if I am going to participate in the swap meet or not, but we'll see. um, Dee Dee says I should practice my talk. Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of public speaking in college, high school, things like that, and thankfully it's gotten better. But you know, you still get nervous because you don't know how people are going to react to your talk and things like that. Um, but yeah, so I've gotten better, but still could use some work. How's the macroalgae availability at club swaps? Um, Not much. I mean, not a lot of people really sell macroalgae at swaps. I haven't gone to swap meets where it's most of the swap meets that I've gone to, which are my local aquarium club, is freshwater. There's not much salt water. So your best bet is to go to see if you have a local saltwater club, and go to some of their frag swaps or things like that, or other smaller saltwater events. I know in New Jersey there's two saltwater swap meets basically that go on every year. So sometimes there might be macroalgae there. I know there's a few online retailers that are there's a few people online that are selling macroalgae as well. Mosaic Macros is a good one um, on Instagram. And they do sell macroalgae, a lot of different varieties of macroalgae. So I would recommend checking them out. Um, but yeah, but yeah. Hello there, Prodigal Aquatics. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. As a club member of ACLC, I don't reap benefits of swaps, co-op purchases. Been a member 3 years. Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, if you're too far away to go to these events, can't really take advantage of a lot of the benefits of it. But, at least you're supporting the club too, so that's something at least. But yeah. Yeah, I know that ACLC was it ACLC? Yeah, it was ACLC. Did a group buy from Atlantic Aquariums once, so I now am doubling in 3 salty tanks. Woo! Look at you, Dee Dee. Soon you'll be a master of both sides of the saltwater and freshwater side. That's good. But yeah, Dee Dee, if you need any supplies or anything, let me know because I'm slowly um updating a lot of the um saltwater product lines on the website too. So let me know. So because I know soon in the soon I'll be posting or I'll be adding water quality analysis stuff. So ATIs, ICP tests, and then there's certain additives and things like that. So um, lighting, filtration, foods, saltwater specific foods. I'll be adding to the website soon. So just let me know, and I'll be happy to help. Purchasing local till cold weather breaks for livestock. Yeah, that's definitely beneficial if you're able to buy livestock local. It's definitely better than purchasing online during the cold weather. Um, but if you need any dry goods, let me know. Because for dry goods, it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold. Kinda. But yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to talk about. But if anybody has any questions or anything anybody wants to talk about, any news in the aquarium hobby that anybody heard, I try to keep up with aquarium news, but you know, sometimes it's hard. Oh, excuse me. But um, but yeah. Dee Dee says I watch a lot of it. Yeah, there's a lot of good content on online to help and a lot of forums, things like that. But just like with the freshwater world and saltwater, things can get confusing and there's a lot of different contradicting information and things like that. So but there's a lot of reliable stuff out there too. So um and as much as I want to post saltwater content, I just don't have the ability to do so yet. But once I set up my water box 20 cube, I'm gonna hopefully go through all the different saltwater. Basically, I'm gonna make a whole series out of it, and then have some saltwater content on the website, or not on the website, on the channel too. What is a good salty channel to watch? So there's a few. Um, there's Inappropriate Reefer, which is a good channel. It's just that it can be contradicting sometimes, but he generally admits it. He's like, that's why it's called Inappropriate Reefer, you know. But I watch Inappropriate Reefer quite a bit. Waterbox aquariums, they usually do have live streams that are pretty informative in the saltwater world. What else is there? Sorry, I'm trying to remember. There's oh my god, what are they? Yes, Zen. Thank you. Tidal Gardens. Tidal Gardens actually is a place where I've learned quite a lot about coral care, to be honest with you. So I absolutely recommend Tidal Gardens for sure. Um, um, Than is really informative on there. But yeah, Tidal Gardens, Inappropriate Reaver, Coral Fish 12G. I mean, was a YouTube channel I was really into, but I really haven't watched haven't really been watching a lot of Coral Fish 12G. Um, but You've got Saltwater Aquarium, um, Bulk Reef Supply. Sometimes we'll have some good videos. They do a lot of testing of different products and equipment that's coming out. So that's pretty informative in my opinion. Um, Mel's Reef is a good one as well. Two Little Fishies um, is a good source as well. Um, but yeah, Mel's Reef is a big one as well. I agree. Worldwide Corals, which is a online coral retailer, they also have a YouTube channel. Sometimes I'll watch their stuff too. Um, Sorry, I'm just looking to see what else I watch that I would recommend. But yeah, there's quite a lot of content out there. But I also, I'm very big on books as well, actually reading, magazine articles, books, things like that. A lot I do tend to study from those as well.
He hasn't had any immunization.
And usually, does very well, that I would recommend at least. Um, but yeah, you've got quite a bit of YouTube channels. You've got forums as well, um, that are also a very big help as well. So, quite a big community out there for sure. Yep, Didi, reading. You'd be surprised. Back when we didn't have internet, that's how you got a lot of your information. As a matter of fact, out of curiosity, I went to my university's library just to see what books they had on aquariums and fish keeping and things like that. And they had quite a bit of stuff, interestingly enough. I did try to win that plant book at the clash Steven wanted. Of course he did. But but yeah. Actually, I have one book that I'm getting in onto the website to sell, basically. Well, I have two books. One is related to plant keeping, at least. One is the Tropica 50th anniversary book, which is mostly related to, seeing how Tropica has grown as a company. But also, there's a lot of inspirational aquascapes and things like that in there. And then the other thing is George Farmer's book that he came out with called Aquascaping, which is a book that I still have to finish now that I think about it. But I will be getting in on Atlantic Aquariums too. So if anybody is interested in George Farmer's book, you can get it from me. And most likely I'll be bringing it to the Clash, but it'll be on the website too. Um, I'll also be getting in a book on arowanas. So there's an arowana care book as well that'll be coming onto Atlantic Aquarium's website. There's a book on the Nano Reef Handbook, Reef Life. There is a Paludarium and Vivarium book called Bioactivity and the Theory of Wild Recreation by Arcadia. Arcadia is a company that does a lot of terrarium, vivarium, and paludarium stuff. It's a British company. Um, but yeah, Yep, Green Aqua is good. George Farmer. When it comes to freshwater planted stuff, George Farmer is my mentor at this point. And then MD Fish Tanks is a good one too. Um, yeah, you've got the King of DIY, which I haven't watched a lot of Joey Mullins videos in a while. Um, but his channel was the first aquarium based YouTube channel that I started watching that got me back into the hobby. Simply Beta, um, Pec Tech is another good one. I actually, when I first started Atlantic Aquariums, I actually sent Pec Tech a package with Tropica tissue culture plants, and he actually bought more afterwards, which was really cool. But he did a unboxing video of it, so that was pretty neat. Um, KG Tropicals is a good one too. Steam Fod Aquatics. Like Steven needs a plant book. Hey man, you can never stop learning anymore. PecTech is back at content. Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of FishTube in a while. I just have not had the time. Um, but I used to watch all of them. Um, Tazawa Tanks, Um, I used to watch Tazawa Tanks way before he joined Aquarium Co-op. But yeah. And I met almost everybody that's big in the fish tube world during the aquatic experience when they first came to New Jersey from Chicago. Um, there was this big thing with where a lot of the fish tubers came in there. Oh, Rachel O'Leary! I cannot forget Rachel O'Leary. Um, but yeah, so I got to meet everybody there. Really, Simply Beta was there. Pec Tech, Rachel Larry, King of DIY, Steam Fod, Aquarium Co-op, um, KG Tropicals. Um, I think even Coralfish 12G was even there too. Like that, everybody was there. And it was just like how you would be when you would meet like a Hollywood celebrity or somebody like that. That's how I was when I was meeting a lot of these guys, and I was like, this is not happening. And I still have pictures that I took with them in my phone that I will never delete. Um, but it was pretty surreal. And then the second and unfortunately last year that aquatic experience came happened at New Jersey. um, I was actually an exhibitor with my aquarium club that I started at my university, um, and so we had a table set up there with a 10-gallon tank showcasing native seahorses that were collected from the estuary at our field station. So it was pretty cool, and it was interesting because our table was next to H2O plants, which is a shout out as well to H2O plants. And then, wow, that's going way back. I haven't seen videos from them in a while. But yeah, our booth was next to H2O plants, and in front of us on the other side was Aquarium Co-op. And so I got to talk with both Corey and H2O plants, and it was pretty cool. Um, Even got to take pictures with Corey as well as Chris Kulep, the Shrimp King, as he would be called sometimes. And we took some really cool pictures, and Corey even gave a shout out later on with that picture too. So it was fun. I had a lot of fun, and it's a shame that they stopped doing the aquatic experience because it was the one show other than Aquashella that had both freshwater and saltwater, and so it was, and it was in New Jersey, so I could actually go to it. But it is what it is. Uh, Jen is asking, did you ever go to the big fish deal when it was going on? Those looked like some crazy auctions with some killer deals on fish and plants, and still seemed cozy. No, I have not. I've heard of the big fish deal, but I haven't really. I never really went to it. Um, what three corals would you suggest for a newbie? Good question, Didi. So, a lot of your SPS, your soft polyp, excuse me, a lot of your soft corals are good beginner friendly. So a lot Kenya trees, um, uh, mushroom corals or mushroom cap leathers, basically your leather corals, your mushroom corals. They're great beginner friendly. Zoids or zoanthids, they're good as well. You want to be careful with zoids slash the zoanthid slash polyathoa corals because they, especially the poly corals, have paleotoxin, and if you don't handle them properly, it can get vaporized into the air and pretty much kill you. So you want to be very careful with those, but they're beginner friendly, obviously. Um, so a lot of your soft corals are going to be good. Um, so I would recommend leather corals, mushrooms, and zoids are good. Now, if you want to get into corals that have skeletons, so your SPS or LPS, I would recommend once your aquarium gets a little bit seasoned or has been running for a little while, the next step would be LPS. A lot of your Fimbrophilia corals, so your frog spawn, torches, um, hammer corals, those are actually my absolute favorite LPS corals. They're pretty beginner. They're not beginner friendly, but when it comes to LPS, they're on the easier side to maintain. Uh, get the branching ones, not the wall ones. The wall ones tend to, be okay. Sometimes they're not, but but they're very good. The only thing you have to really look into, especially when you're dealing with LPS coral because they have a skeleton, is your calcium. You want to make sure your calcium levels are good in your system, so that the corals can create that calcium carbonate skeleton. And as long as all your parameters are within the range that they will do well at, you'll be perfectly fine. And going back to Tidal Gardens, DD has a very good video on beginner friendly corals. But but yeah, those would be my recommendations. And when we talk about leather corals, my favorite is the Kenya tree. Like that's when I set up my aquarium, that's one of the first corals I'm gonna get is a Kenya tree. Um, I don't know, they just look so cool, and I love them. Kenya trees, hairy mushroom corals, or the what are they called? I'm trying to remember the genus species name. Uh, Give me one second because I need to know what genus species that is because it's one of my favorite looking mushroom corals. Oh, here we go. It's Recordia mushrooms, and yeah, Recordia mushrooms. They're gorgeous. They look cool. Um, and some of them are called hairy mushrooms because they actually protrude tentacles out, and so they look really cool. But yeah, Recordia mushrooms are my favorite. So I want to get Recordias. I want to get um, Kenya tree, and then when it comes to LPS, I want to get any of the Fembrophilia family. So most likely it's going to be the frog spawn coral. And then SPS, which is small polyp stony, I want to do bird's nest. I think bird's nest are really cool. Um, Big Steve has seahorse babies and an octopus. Ooh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, blue rings octopuses are illegal to keep in New Jersey, from what I've heard. Okay, I have a leather stocky thing, several mushrooms. Those seem to be doing okay. Yeah, they're pretty resilient to water parameter changes, so they're not that difficult to kill. But yeah, as long the thing, Didi, that I will recommend to you, if my knowledge means anything, with either freshwater or saltwater, just keep up with your maintenance, test your water parameters, make sure that they're within range. Don't be like hyper focused on a specific number, but as long as you're within the range that is appropriate for the species that you're keeping, you'll be fine. But obviously you won't know unless you keep track of testing your water parameters, and then doing your water changes, making sure um, you keep up with the water changes, because a lot of the minerals that your corals will need is usually, depending on the type of salt that you're using, is pre-mixed within the salt. So just doing a water change replenishes a lot of that stuff, and you don't have to add anything. But obviously, if you have a lot of corals in your system that are really taking in those additives, and just doing water changes isn't going to really do much, then obviously you're going to want to dose stuff. But you know, that's just my recommendation, is just understand what the species are that you're keeping, what their requirements are, and making sure that you're providing those requirements, and you should be fine, really. I like gorgonians. Yes, that's another a good thing. Gorgonians, which aren't technically coral, but um, they're also good. With gorgonians, you have to be careful. There are two types. There's non-photosynthetic and photosynthetic. Non-photosynthetic are the very colorful ones, interestingly enough. Photosynthetic ones aren't usually that colorful, but those are better for you to keep than the non-photosynthetic ones, because obviously photosynthetic corals or gorgonians get most of their nutrients from photosynthesis, whereas non-photosynthetic corals, you have to make sure they're getting constant food in the water column for them to filter feed. So um, so yeah, gorgonians, another thing I would recommend, especially once your tank is a bit has been running for a little bit. Definitely something to keep for sure. Um, Now keep in mind, when you're keeping photosynthetic corals, that doesn't mean you still don't want to supplement with other feedings, because they do feed during the night. Well, they'll bring out their tentacles and things like that. And you have species of corals that do love meaty foods too. So sea anemones, although they're not corals, love it. Other LPS corals also will take chopped up krill or shrimp or things like that, and they'll feed on that, or like a food pellet, a coral pellet, things like that. Um, I do have coral food on the website. It's not in stock currently, but Barrier Reef Labs SPS or LPS coral food is a really good. It's something that I recommend. SPS is way more finer, whereas LPS is a little bit more coarser, but it's still supposed to mimic microscopic plankton and phytoplankton and things like that in the water column for the coral to feed on. And you can feed that food by either target feeding or doing a broadcast feed. But one thing that I've learned about it is that you want to make sure that you mix it in salt water, in tank water, before you add it into your aquarium. Otherwise, it just floats at the top. And if you don't put your system on feed mode, um, it's just going to go into your filtration. So that's something that I've come across when I was testing that food in the lab. But it's a good food. The corals really got to it a lot. So I've been trying to get Kenya tree recently. Local fish store had one, and the lady before me got it. Um, yeah. What's interesting that I wanted to mention is one of my wholesalers actually has started to is now has corals available to purchase. A lot of these corals are coming from Indonesia, um, and I'm hoping by the end of the year to start having corals on sale, to bring to shows, but also to sell online. Um, not only do they have corals available now, but they also have shrimp, freshwater shrimp. So you'll be seeing both of those available soon, at least. Um, um, but they going back to what you were mentioning about the Kenya trees, I know they currently have Kenya trees in stock. So um, I'll see if I can do a. It's one of the things that I hate that you're not coming to the clash, because if you were coming to the clash, I would special order the stuff and bring it to you. But but yeah. Um, my hairy mushrooms are doing good. They don't like to be shaved. No, they do not. But I'm happy to hear that you have them and that they're doing good. That's cool. Some of the little hard frags I bought in the beginning seem to be coming back to life. That's good. That's good. If you're keeping hard stony corals, Didi, make sure that you're keeping track of your calcium levels. Started actually recording my tests. Good job. Very good. Zen, is 2026 your salty year? Yeah, Zen, what's happening with the seahorse stuff? Are we getting seahorses or not? I hope, but I also hope for that 2025. Mm-hmm. Bedtime in London. Good night, all. Good night. Thank you very much for stopping by. Appreciate it. I really prefer to buy plants and corals in person. Yeah, yeah. There's definitely benefits to it, but I mean, if you don't have good reliable sources nearby to get stuff in person, sometimes you have to order stuff online, but only from sources that you think that do a good job, basically. There's nothing wrong with ordering it online, but only if you don't have a good source locally, right? Always go to your local fish stores first. Butterfly has to miss too much school for us to go. Okay, I got you. Like, yeah, I started the hard way. Yeah, well, you learn a lot, Didi, especially from your mistakes. And trust me, I've made plenty of mistakes. So you learn from them. But yeah, one thing that I would recommend, Didi, and you don't necessarily have to do this often, but once I have the ATIA ICP tests, I recommend, and I'm even happy to send you one. Recommend you using the test to do a full in-depth water analysis of your saltwater systems. That will actually give you a better idea of what your parameters are and if you need to add anything or not, things like that, which they do recommend. They will recommend to you if you do need to add anything. Um, it's something that I used to do a lot is do the ICP testing because it gives you a really in-depth analysis of your water. So stuff that regular test kits don't really test for really. So and you'd be surprised with some of the data that you get back. Don't do like Didi. The thing is, when we went to the clash, my hubby got very excited about the huge discus, which he hasn't been in years. So now the seahorses are being put on hold to get him back in the hobby. Give me 1 second, guys. To get him back into the hobby. Fair enough, fair enough. And I mean, hey, I love discus too. That's one of my dream fish to keep, but they are hard to keep. DD is a company. Hang on, let me. Uh, yeah, it's not on the website yet, but ATI is basically a company. They specialize in lighting as well as water quality, salt water specifically. Um, um, and their test kits are basically the ICP, in-depth analysis testing, which is basically you get the kit, and you'll basically send them a water sample of your aquarium water, and then if you download the app or anything or things like that, or create it when you create an account, you'll get the results back, and then they'll give you a full in-depth analysis of different elements that are in the water. And then if anything is off, they will then recommend what you should do to remedy it, basically. And then they also sell the actual additives. So let's say um, you do the ICP analysis and it comes back that your iodine levels are very low. Well, they you can buy ATI elemental iodine or iodine to then add into your aquarium water to get those levels back up. We had discussed for years before, and the more research I do on seahorses, the more temperamental it seems, especially when discus are much more tolerant of Texas temps and chillers are pricey. They are pricey, that is for sure. Yeah. You definitely have to keep track of water parameters, and in Texas heat, I think discus will do perfectly fine because they do like a bit warmer temperatures, for sure. A lot of your South American cichlids, tend to like warmer temperatures. Um, you look at your ram cichlids, you look at discus, even angels will tolerate a bit higher temperatures. So, and that is true. Um, but yeah, so that's pretty much all I have, and we're getting close to the hour mark. Um, and I've got some other work I need to get done. So I do appreciate, um, I do appreciate you guys stopping by. It's good to be back, and it's good to see familiar faces and talk about fish keeping because I have been missing that lately, and so it's a good thing that I decided to do a live stream today. So, but yeah, so Didi, I'll keep in touch with you on anything that you might need for your saltwater tanks, and I'll especially the ATI test kits, and we'll go from there. And yeah, so thank you everybody for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Make sure you hit the like button and share it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to it. I'm working on some new content coming up. But also make sure that you follow Professor FishTanks on Instagram too. And then, like I said, if you're interested in the Professor FishTanks T-shirt, you can purchase it at Atlantic Aquariums. I'm trying to utilize the I'm trying to utilize the profits from the shirts to go towards building my aquarium lab at home. So it definitely is not going to waste. I can assure you of that. But yeah, so thank you again. And for those of you who are watching the replay, thank you very much for stopping by. Sorry you missed it. And with that being said, take care, enjoy your fish keeping, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.